Welcome to AG's Ace. The recent death of Russian oligarch Pavel Antov in a resort in Odisha has raised many questions. Was he murdered? Was it an accidental death that he fell off from his hotel window from the third floor and died? And it also raises many other questions in its wake about the number of oligarchs who have lost their lives under pretty suspicious circumstances. To understand this, let's begin with a little bit of a background. Now in 2020, Russian agents poisoned, and this was alleged and suspected, but they failed to kill the Putin critic Alexei Navalny. There was a lot of international hoopla about it, but he managed to survive. And this was done with a nerve agent. Now, a decade earlier, they succeeded in a similar attempt on the Russian security services defector Alexander Litvinenko, who died. In 2004, when Viktor Yushchenko ran against a Kremlin-backed opponent for Ukraine's presidency, he was poisoned with an agent called dioxin and left badly disfigured. Now, 30 years earlier, the Bulgarian Secret Service, reportedly with the help of the KGB, killed the dissident Georgy Markov on the Waterloo Bridge in London. And it was a pretty unique way of killing somebody, that he was stabbed in the back with an umbrella tip which was laced with the lethal poison ricin. Now, suicides have a way of playing out that they are difficult to decipher. Did the person commit suicide or was he killed? Now, this is a typical calling card which the Russians like to play against the people that they want to eliminate. What is playing out currently is that those who are against Vladimir Putin or whose loyalty is suspect, so they have to face a particular situation of coaxed suicide. It is not an implausible scenario, say some of the experts. And it is not uncommon to be told that we can come to you, or you can do the manly thing and remove yourself from the chessboard. That is the message being sent out. So, did Antov really fall out of his window in India? Or was he pushed by a Kremlin agent? Or was a message sent to him that either you jump out or your family and friends, whoever they are, whoever is close to you, would be eliminated? All of these things are quite possible. In Russian, this system of assassination and elimination is known as wet work. Wet work. Sometimes the main purpose is to send a message to others: we'll kill you and your family if you are disloyal. Sometimes the goal is to simply remove a troublesome individual. It works both ways. A few years ago, the Russian whistleblower Alexander Perepelikhny, he died while jogging outside London in 2012, and at least one autopsy detected a chemical residue in his stomach linked to the rare flowering plant called Gelsemium, which is considered highly toxic. Now, these are the clues of evidence that the Russians are fond of using. They want you to know that it was murder, but they don't want you to conclude that it was murder. So there's a subtle underplay of what they're trying to do. They want to give you a message, and at the same time, they don't want you to absolutely conclude in your investigations. Now, poisoning has that ambiguity. It is covert, it is concealed, it is hard to detect as to how it all happened. Defenestration or chucking somebody out of the window or somebody falls out has its own message, but pretty, again, difficult to prove that the person was pushed out or did it on his own. Now, things that mimic natural causes of death, like a heart attack or a stroke, the Russians can be quite good at doing that. The war in Ukraine has its own message. It is not universally popular among the Russian elite. Quite a few of them feel that Putin is pushing them back into the arms of the Cold War situation, and that is something they detest. It has affected their businesses. The sanctions from Europe particularly have impacted quite a few of them pretty badly. They are under pressure not only from the underworld, where some of their money could be parked, they are under pressure from their competitors, also from certain sections of the company within. So it's quite a lousy time for them, and this is again that Kremlin finds it very hard to accept. So the way this Ukraine war has played out, and the way the messages that are being sent out by Putin and his followers, is that they are not going to accept criticism so easily, and particularly coming from well-known oligarchs or rich businessmen or people who are influencers in Russian society. So two messages are being sent out to them. One, they can be hunted down anywhere in the world, and there is no place that they would be safe. Secondly, the way some of their families have also been eliminated or killed, or being interpreted that the main person, the Russian oligarch or the main business person, the main target himself did it, is also ambiguous. But the second and the most important point is that this Russian administration does not like to accept critics, does not like to accept criticism. It's not like they're going to eliminate everyone, but they are sending out a very clear and not so subtle message that if you are a critic, be prepared for what can be coming your way. Thanks for watching AG's Ace.